Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex Today trade setups for today. So the break did happen yesterday, triangle break basically, so it was in a range, and then as I said to you yesterday, it looked like it was starting to form a triangle, and Euro USD did exactly that and broke through. I know some of you got the trade, well done. Take profit was or is pretty much in this area at 103,680. Reason for that, if you just look on the weekly, you will see we have a cluster of support down here in this 103,680 area. Break through that, and then you should have another opportunity, and each of these little tails here are going to hold up price, but nothing really significant until a little bit lower down. However, 10000 will be a big round number, so that is pretty much what I would be paying very close attention to. If I just put it in, it's around there, and you can see if you put that level in, you can see quite a bit of price action that's happening around that level. So let's just get down to the 1 hour. A nice strong move yesterday. We're quite far from the moving averages. Look at the oscillator starting to separate and move to the upside, which is good. What you're looking for is opportunities to continue selling, and you have a few options. One of them is right here where we are now, but I'd want to wait for the market to open, and then the other option would be here. If we get through both those levels, then I'd be looking at a Fibonacci. If we get back into this area here, which is 104,949, that would also be an area for you to start looking for shorts, and that would actually do a proper validation of the triangle. If I just come back to the 8 hour, this was a move down. Get really messy now. So this was a move down into a consolidation move. If I take my, let me just find where it is. Just if I take my level from there, the upper side of that, and look where we're heading, you can see not too far away from one dead, but looking there, you could see probably 102. 102 is probably the area that you'd be looking at for this measured move to play out. So yeah, that's kind of my view on Euro USD at the moment. Wait for the pullback, and you're looking for a continuation down. Pay attention to these levels. You'd also be looking at this area here. To be honest, these would be on the 15 minutes, just paying attention to what's going on. If you see some price action that starts indicating rejection of these levels, then good opportunity. But up here would be a much better opportunity if it got that far. Moving on to US dollar, Japanese yen. Pretty much nothing going on here. This should be running while Euro USD is falling, and it didn't. It fell as well into this area. There's no real indication of anything right now apart from the oscillators group, the downside plus an inside bar, and what looks like a confirmation bar forming. We do have a bit of a gap. So I would want to see a pullback. I'd want to see some level being tested, and right now that would be there. So pullback onto 128,435, hold that level, then potentially a continuation of the upside. But of the $2 pairs that I look at, I think Euro USD would offer a much better bet once it finds some resistance. Moving on to the pound, British pound, Japanese yen, and head and shoulders has been validated. There is the neckline. Just going to put that as a zone. Okay, just want to adjust that a little bit higher. There we go. So that is the zone that we're in. We have broken that to the downside. We do have a bit of a gap here. So what I would expect is a pullback into this area, reject that area nicely, and then a continuation which is equal to the height of the head and shoulders. So if you take that conservatively, that's 8,300 points, so 5% moves to the downside. We do need to see a rejection before jumping in on this, because it has been a pretty strong uptrend, but pretty similar to what happened to Euro USD. You can see we had broken through early in the session when we did the video, and then it just continued moving to the downside. So there is a little level here which I would pay attention to. There we go, and then obviously there's another level which is roughly where this gap is from yesterday as well. If we get back up to that high, that gives us a big engulfing bar on the daily, so I don't think that would be wise to start chasing any shorts there. But depending on what happens here, Maybe just have a look at the 15-minute. There might be a micro. Yeah, there is. So move this down. You can see there's a micro level right there, and it's the 155 as well. So watch out for the open. I think it looks like another flag forming for a move to the upside. We should probably target this area here. But for me, pay attention to this at the open. If you see more bearish patterns like this, it is still an inside bar, engulfing bar there off a level. That went above the level, off level. So I'm looking for something else off the level, and that would indicate a potential break of the structure, which would be down here, would be an entry with a stop above these tails here for a continuation to the downside. So that's kind of the setup that I have at the moment. If we do get an daily engulfing bar and back up here, then I'll be sit on hands until next week, see if we can reject this area next week, and then look for another opportunity to the downside there. Moving on to Euro British Pound, and now what can we say here? So the 8 hour, as I said, for many months now, we keep getting above the 8 hour 155 EMA. Looks like we're building a base to get moving, and then it crashes back below it. So we keep going up and above and below the moving averages. Now this has probably been the longest streak that we've had of us going above the moving averages. It could be a situation of us looking for support, but as I said to you pretty much all the week, this looks a little bit messy. We got a piercing pattern here on the 8 hour, then we've got to follow through. So, logic says when you see that kind of price action, you'd be expecting a continuation to the downside. Now, I'm going to ignore the 8 hour for now. Let's just move to the 1 hour. So, sideways, broke to the upside, came down, tried to test here, failed, broke to the downside of this range. So for me at the moment, if we take let's just take the top level here. If we reject this area here on the hour, which is 0.85262, so we're looking for a bit of a move back to the upside, reject that with some decent price action, then I suspect we are heading down here to 0.84657. And there is a gap lower down as well. But bear in mind, on the hour, we've got a crossover and we're below the 155. So I just want to see a retest of that 155. Now, just come down to the 15-minute, and you'll see there is your cluster of attempted support on the 155 EMA on the 15-minute. That failed, broke to the downside. Now, what you're looking for is a retest of that area. So these two levels are the ones to pay attention to. If this holds 0.85135, or alternatively if 0.85262 holds, then I would still be looking for an opportunity to short this, looking for 0.84657. So at the moment, we on the lower time frames, does look like a bit of a change happening, or a trend change is happening, and it looks like it is reversing to the downside. So that's kind of my play there at the moment. Lower time frames, probably way safer to look at. Anyway, that's it for me on Forex. Hope it helps, and enjoy your weekend. We'll catch up with you on Monday morning. Cheers for now.